Hello everybody and welcome. Today in this video I'll be sharing with you how to make a tent card. It's a fun fold, it's something a little bit different to make your card making that little bit more special. My name is Tatiana, I'm from Tatiana Creative Stamping Adventure and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Australia. I am a paper craft addict and one of the things I love to make is cards because you can quickly and easily make one and send it to someone you love or admire and just let them know how you feel about them and to brighten their day. That's always lovely, particularly in these COVID pandemic times. It's nice to send someone a little surprise in the mail just to say you're thinking of them. Monday nights is my live video series, which I've titled Fantastic Fun Folds, because I'm sharing different fun folds. And as I've already mentioned, it's tent card tonight. So you know you're watching live if you see the little red live there. Otherwise you're watching the recording, but still enjoy, and I still welcome you to the video. I've got people saying hello, so hello everybody. Let's head to the craft desk and get started. As I always do, I need to start off with my paper trimmer and a piece of cardstock. Today, or tonight should I say, we're going to be using Seaside Spray because we're going to make a snowflake themed tent card. I forgot the name for a second, and you know, this is a beautiful color. Color's looking funny on the iPad. Anyhow, to create the card, firstly you need to take a full-sized piece of cardstock and cut it in half. So for A4 paper, that is at 10.5 centimeters. If you're using letter paper, you're cutting yours at 4.25 centimeters, and then you're left with the full height of 29.7 or 11 inches. And then we're going to score this in half at 14.8. And if you're using letter, you're going to score that at 5.5. So that's a basic top folding card. Now to create the tent bit, I will admit that I've never made one before, but I have seen them and I've never looked at any tutorials. So this is how I'm going to make a tent card. There is always more than one answer on how to make something. So I'm creating the little bottom piece, and I'm using 10.5 centimeters, so the other piece of cardstock, and I'm taking it to 4 centimeters. So if you're using letter, you've got 4.5 by 1.5 inches. And then we're going to score that in 1 centimeter intervals. So if you're in inches, you're scoring it at 3/8 intervals. So it's at 1 centimeter or at 3/8, 2 centimeters, or at, there we go, 3/4, and then at 3 centimeters, or at, say, 1 1/8 of an inch. There we go. Put my trimmer to the side for now, and I think I'll fold this and burnish it first. So I'm taking my card base, folding it in half and burnishing that fold just to make it sit nice and flat, and might as well do that to here. So we're going to fold the middle one, take this middle score line, burnish it, and then fold up, finish that, flip, and fold up again. So we've created a little, well, I guess an M or a W, depending on how you are viewing that. So we can put that to the side for now, and we're going to enhance our card front first. My first thing I'd like to do is I'm using the So Many Snowflake dies, which are in the August to December mini catalogue, which is available now. And I really, really, really love this beautiful die piece, which cuts out an aperture. Which way do we want it? I'll go this way. And I'm going to cut that out from our card front. Because not that all 10 cards have to, but a lot of 10 cards when I was looking on Pinterest have, I guess an aperture is the best word to use. I was like, I'm going to use that word hole, but yeah, they have a little bit of a aperture. So I'm just using a tiny piece of, what's it called, washi tape to hold that in place. And then I'm going to bring in the trusty Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine. And run that through. Loving this machine. Works so easy and smoothly. And bring in, before I completely take that out. Yes, good question, Jenny. How is everyone, particularly if there's any people in Auckland watching or anyone from Melbourne watching? How are you all coping? It's strange times we're living in. It's all I can keep saying. It's weird times, and all we have to do is try to keep ourselves and those around us safe. And if we all do that, then things hopefully will improve. So anyway, you can see now why I really love this die. It creates this beautiful little aperture. Like, who doesn't like that? Who wouldn't like that? And I thought it would be fun to emboss the other side of this card. So we have the Winter Snow embossing folder, and I want to emboss this, so the back of the card, because it will show through behind our aperture. So I've placed that, and I've placed it so that the fold is at that end point of the embossing folder. And if you can't remember which plates you need, all you have to do is refer to our handy referral right on the plate, so you don't have to go looking for it. So using standard embossing folders, I need plate number 1 and 2 plates number 3. So here's 1, 3, and remember to put your embossing folders fold through first. And here we go. So Jenny says you're doing okay. Oh wow, Jenny, I'm assuming Mike is your husband. I could be wrong. And Elizabeth, you're in regional Victoria, so only stage 3 lockdown. Any stage of lockdown, not fun, I would say. And when I bring that up, don't you just love the snowflakes? They are stunning. So we've got our aperture, and we've got snowflakes in that aperture. How cute is that? Isn't that cool? And we are going to create a little hanging element, or a spinning element, I thought, just for fun. So a bit of a twist on the spinner card, a tent spinner card. That's what I should have called this class, a tent spinner card. So we're going to take another one of our snowflake dies, and I had picked the one over here. Oh dear, major surgery. stubborn migraine. That's no good. So I'm going to use the snowflake to float in the aperture, and I am going to cut it in white so that it's more visible. So great, that's going to fit there. And what I'm going to do on the back of the cardstock, I'm going to add some adhesive sheet so that we can easily stick the two sides of the snowflake together. So I'm going to make a double-sided snowflake essentially. So I'm going to trim this. Doesn't have to be exact. So these are our new adhesive sheets, and if you can just see, they come in strips. So it's a 6x12 sheet with 3 strips, and when you peel back the strip, this adhesive part is on that strip. And the only problem is that I can get it on my fingers quite easily. There we go. Add that strip to the back, and then we can die cut. Our snowflake will fit nicely on there. Just going to use that bit of washi tape just to make sure it's nice and in the right spot. I really need to name my machine. Never really got around to naming my other one. Oh, I forgot to put the other plate in. I have embossing. Oh no, I've got the plate in. Aren't I good? Run that through. And remove that snowflake. I should use the foam, but I'm not. Naughty me. And one more snowflake so that we can sandwich some see-through twine in between the two. And this saves us adding glue by using this adhesive sheet. It also means that the twine, it's not twine, it's clear thread, sticks quite well. So it's like a win-win. And so this is an attachment to our Take Your Pick tool. You unscrew the gluey bit and the brush screws in, and then you get the mat with the brush. And it's super handy to get all those little bits out of your die cuts. And now I'm going to turn my snowflake around. So I've just picked up this clear twine. I've used it in videos, spinner card videos before. And it's super thin, it's super fine. I'm just going to cut a length. Doesn't really matter what length, as long as I know it covers more than the area of the aperture. That sticky tape piece. So I found that in the quilting section of Spotlight. I'm thinking Michael's in the States would sell something very similar. Now I'm using the pointy end of your Take Your Pick tool to help me lift the release paper off that adhesive sheet. There we go. Once you've got one corner up, the rest is easy. And I'm going to place, ooh, getting it stuck to my fingers. There, ooh, this is where your Take Your Pick tool comes in handy. I'll get there. Ooh, there. So I'm going to place, it probably looks like I'm not holding anything, but I do have that clear twine. I'm going to place it right down the middle of my snowflake and press it down. go. And now peel off. Now that I've got that on there, it's a lot easier to keep it off from sticking to my fingers. Does anyone have issues with things sticking to their fingers? I've always got bits sticking to my fingers. And now flip that so the two adhesive sides are facing each other. And I'm going to carefully line the snowflake up. Not the perfect job, but because I haven't pressed it, I can maneuver it around a little bit. So there we go. We've got our snowflake on a string, and now we're going to place that into our aperture. And to stick that down, you can use a little bit of sticky tape. Where did I put that sticky tape? There we go. Just some regular sticky tape, because nobody's going to see this bit, inside bit. So I'm making sure the string, the clear thread hits is going straight down that point of the aperture, and then I'm placing the sticky tape down. Now pulling that up, pulling it taut and up and up across there. And then I can trim the excess. So we can even twist up that before we close it, and then when you open it, it will slightly twist. But when we add our, where'd I put that? The bit to make it a tent card, that will stop it from fully twisting. So let's add that in now. We've got our W or M, depending on how you like to look at it, and I'm going to use a piece of tear and tape. I'm using tear and tape because it's a strong adhesive and I don't want this falling apart. So pulling that across and typing. So I'm putting that on the top and on the bottom. Oh my goodness, Jenny, that's quite a journey you're both taking. Now when you're adhering this, make sure that the middle one is a mountain. So these are the valleys, the ones pointing down, and the one pointing up, the score line that's folded, top. So you want that, you want the mountain pointing to the top of your card. And we'll peel back the release paper. And line that up to that corner, to that corner, and so. And that will give it a rub down, and now we can yes, there are people a lot worse than we are. That is true, Jenny. Good attitude. So now I'm lining up, all fingers and thumbs today, lining up that corner and pressing down. So you can see the back of our card has that beautiful embossing folder. And now that's the tent. So if you wanted your card to stand out wider, you would make this part. So I cut mine at 4 centimeters and scored it every centimeter. You could cut it at 5 centimeters and score from 1 centimeter and then 1.5 and then another 1.5. But that's really up to you how you want to handle it. I liked the little skinny, but you do take into consideration that if you make this bit larger, it'll stick in larger, and if you make your aperture very large, it will show through. So things to consider. I wish I could show you from the side. It looks very pretty with the snowflake floating there. And I like to be able to write messages on my cards. So I've got a piece of Whisper White, which I've cut to 10 centimeters by 14.3. And if you're using letter paper, that would be 4 inches by 5.25, which will fit nicely back here to allowing me to write someone a lovely message. And speaking of writing lovely messages to someone, don't forget that you can nominate someone to receive this card in the mail. So I'll send it in your behalf to your nominee. So as long as the nominee is in Australia, nominate away. And to nominate, just simply comment saying that I'd like to nominate my friend, my mother, my brother, my sister. Thank you, Lou. And this could go in the mail to them. And need a sentiment. So I'm just going to pop that bit the wrong way out so that I feel like saying Christmas wishes because it's a very Christmassy card. Let's see what else. Our friendship is one of a kind. Or, nope, the thank you won't fit. So yeah, our friendship. And I think I will stamp that in the lovely new, what's it called, Misty Moonlight, just so that it's a bit darker than the rest of our card. Almost picked up Pretty Peacock. And there we go. And should have stamped this beforehand. That was a little silly of me. Giving it a nice press down. There we go. I did it. Folding that back in. So yes, remember to add any stamping before you assemble your card. And there's no inside per se to decorate tonight, but we can decorate our envelope. And I really love it when I can emboss. Oh, wonderful. Thank you, Elizabeth, for that nomination. So I'm going to emboss the envelope flap. So I've taken the envelope flap and placed it inside the embossing folder, butting it all up, then folding down. Oh, that's caught there a little bit. There we go. Folding it down, and let's put it through. This, good point, Jenny. Sorry, the stamp, it's with the coordinating stamp set. It's called Snowflake Wishes, again from our August to December mini catalogue. I love snowflakes. I am aware that we don't get many snowflakes in Australia, but hey, we do have snow. It's not like it's non-existent. But I do know that our Christmases aren't snowed, but it's something about it. Oh, you've been fiddling with Way to Goat. That's a funny one, isn't it? I've got the machine sitting on top of things, which I shouldn't have. And oh, that's so pretty. Pretty, pretty, pretty. I love this embossing folder. Oh, I know what we should do. Happy birthday, you old goat. Yes, that's quite funny, isn't it? One additional thing. Let's add some shimmer. So I've got the Champagne Mist, or should I use the other one? Oh, I don't have any of the other one left. So Champagne Mist it is. I'm gonna grab a champagne. Did I call it mist? It's Champagne Frost. And what we need is radio, just a piece of paper here, because I'm going to add it to our snowflake that's floating, but don't want to get it on the back of the card. Embossing on toilet paper. I love it, Lou. It's a quick and simple way of adding some decoration to your envelope. So I shook the ink, the shimmer paint, and so there's some shimmer paint in the ink. Yes, I'd like to know more about the toilet paper, and I'm just going to add that to this snowflake. Spreading it around, and then carefully get that snowflake to rotate. Yes. So that I do both sides. Just to add some sparkle. So who doesn't like a little bit of sparkle? That was a post-it note. Yeah. Fantastic. Toilet paper embossing. There we go. So does that shimmer come up? I mean, it does for me. I'm not sure if it does on the camera. On the video, should I say. But it certainly does. So this card can stand up nicely on its own. Then it's got the snowflake, all shimmery, folds down flat so that you can envelope it. Oh dear, it's time to sleep, so that you can put it in the envelope and mail it off to someone, no problems. And that, my dear friends, is the tent card. Well, it's almost like a spinner tent card, but I'll just go with tent card. If you have any questions, feel free to comment and let me know, even if you're watching on YouTube, because I do monitor all comments and like to answer any questions. All the products that you see here me using tonight, you can purchase at my online store. If you use the host code, you will be able to enter into my customer loyalty program. So for every $50 you spend, you collect a sticker, collect 10 stickers, and receive a free gift or products up to the value of $50 from me as a thank you for supporting me. I hope you all have a lovely evening. Enjoy the, enjoy the lockdown? No. Enjoy the moment. Be present in the moment. Go and make a card and send it to someone to cheer them up. Don't forget to keep the nominations coming. I will draw out the nominee or the nomination on Wednesday with my next live. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a lovely evening, and bye for now.